This is episode number 20.
Woohoo!
Yeah.
We should have like a anniversary celebration or something.
Yeah. Episode 20. And today is Thursday, September 19th.
I'll have a chug of beer for that.
Yeah, there you go. I had just for dinner Carolina hot chicken sandwich with
nice.
ghost pepper sauce.
Oh, sweet.
And my God, was it hot.
You'll be loving that in the morning.
I got a little piece of ghost pepper stuck in my retainer.
Oh man.
I could not get the fucking thing out, and it burnt so bad.
I had some beef jerky last week that had ghost pepper and Carolina Reaper pepper like ground up and dusted on it.
Oh man.
I could feel its travels all the way throughout my intestines. I knew where at any one point where it was located.
Oh man, that's horrible. They had the option of Carolina Reaper, but I was like, I don't think I can handle that really. I mean, the ghost pepper, I can handle ghost pepper, but this thing was drenched in it, and it had little pieces of ghost pepper on it, and a little piece that got stuck in my retainer under my front teeth, and I was like, God damn! Now my like roof of my mouth is raw from me trying to get it out with my tongue. Anyway, let's talk a little bit horror movie news.
Okay.
Couple great things. I think we talked a little bit about it on the last episode. The remake of Black Christmas.
Yes.
Yeah.
We saw the trailer.
We saw
The
the
trailer
trailer
looks amazing.
when we went to go see it.
A bit different, but I think I like what they're doing with it.
Yeah. It looked really good though.
Yeah.
I'm very I'm eager to see it now.
And it comes out December Friday the 13th.
Yep.
That's awesome.
Yeah, right?
The fact
That's the way
that
to do
it's Friday 13th in December is awesome too.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that is pretty amazing. So looking forward to that. Posted, of course, by you, Chris, is the 4K restoration of Evil Dead.
Oh, it looks good. Did you listen? Did you watch the clip?
Yeah.
The sound is great.
Great. I can't wait to own that one. Like, I have the whole collection of Evil. In fact, the other day, my daughter and I watched a remake again. The Evil Dead remake from, what was that, 2011?
Is that the one that came in the Necronomicon?
Yeah, I want to say, maybe 2011, 2012. I really liked it. I thought it was good.
I loved it. I thought it was a great reimagining of it, and they put little nods to the old stuff in there. It was fantastic.
Yeah.
But I'm very eager to see the 4K restoration of the original. That's pretty awesome. And I wonder how they made that even happen, because the company that owns the rights to the original movie was not for like any of those special editions and shit.
Really?
Yeah. Sam Raimi always talked about how he had such a hard time with the rights to that movie. Yeah, so that's pretty interesting. Have you seen the latest trailer for the Shudder Creepshow series?
Yes.
That looks pretty good too.
I think that's next week. I think that comes out.
Yep.
It's just going to be on Shudder.
Yeah. Which is really, I just canceled my HBO, so maybe I'll pick up Shudder for a month or two just so I can.
And Shudder's not that expensive, is it?
I don't know how much it goes for, to be honest with you.
Yeah, there's really nothing on HBO right now.
Yeah, so I canceled
I'm
my
thinking
HBO
about
because I haven't been watching it, so I figured.
Axing it myself.
Yeah. Let me
really,
see.
really
There's a
nothing
7-day. They got a 7-day free trial.
Oh, sweet! Sign up for it like next Thursday when they
and it's
when
$4.95
the
a
show
month.
starts.
That's not bad. $4.95 a month for horror.
Oh yeah,
movies.
that's not bad. For some reason, I thought it was more than that.
So are they going to do it like Netflix, where they'll just release 10 or 15 episodes?
No, because when I read about it coming out, it's I think it's a couple episodes like between the 26th and then October 31st. They're going to I think maybe like once every couple days or something. Or I couldn't kind of exactly get it, but it doesn't seem like it's just going to be one dump of all the episodes.
Yeah, so I think I'll sign up for that for a couple months, see how that goes.
It looked like there's a lot of stars in it though from the trailer.
Oh yeah, of course.
And
yeah.
some cameos. Isn't Adrienne Barbeau in one of the episodes? I think.
I think I did see her in one of the like a quick glimpse of her.
Yep.
That's awesome. More horror news. Stephen King's new Netflix movie.
In the Tall Grass.
Wow. That's,
we just watched the trailer of that right before the show tonight, and it looks awesome.
And now that story, that book was co-written by him and his son.
Oh, yeah?
His son goes by the author of the pen, Joe Hill.
Oh, okay. All right. Yeah, because I did see
Hill
that. And I was like, who the hell's Joe Hill?
Joe Hill is Joseph King. He didn't want to ride his dad's coattails, so he used a pseudonym when he wrote his first 5 books.
Wow.
So the two of them co-wrote it then?
Yeah, together they wrote this book.
Sweet.
And it's one of those, I remember, I think probably last year, one of the episodes we talked about Stephen King's exclusive deal with Netflix for several movies, several of his books being turned into Netflix exclusive movies, like we talked about 1922?
Yes. Gerald's Game.
Gerald's Game. So there's a bunch of movies still yet to come. So this is what, the third or fourth one now?
It looks good, too. It looks really good.
Yeah,
now,
it looks amazing.
The Stand remake, is that going to be Netflix? Because I saw they've started casting that, and it's a pretty good cast.
I don't know if that was Netflix or not. I haven't. That's a good question. I don't remember if it was Netflix or Hulu that has what. Because I think it was. I thought it was something that they were talking about. ABC.
You know, now that you say that, I think I do remember seeing ABC.
Because remember, he had an exclusive deal and first right of refusal with ABC for years.
Mm-hmm.
Like with all his books being turned into like miniseries. Remember, like the Storm of the Century and all those like miniseries. So I don't know.
Langoliers.
Which was horrible. The special effects and everything was just horrific. But they even what was another one that they did? They did Tommy Knockers. There was a bunch that they did.
They redid The Shining.
Yeah, the Shining remake was pretty good, I think.
I didn't think it was bad.
But I know that it's. Let me see. Does it say where it's going to be? I'm looking online here.
Yeah, I saw Alexander Skarsgård is playing. What's his name? The hell's the Walking Man's real name? Shit, I forget. It's been a while since I read that book.
So it says that CBS Films owns it and Vertigo Entertainment. But it doesn't say where it's going to be. So it might wind up being on one of those TV series. So this website here has this information. Might be old. Yeah, very good, very good. Let's see what else we got going on. We got Rob Zombie's 3 from Hell is getting rave reviews.
I saw it.
What'd you think of it?
It was awesome. I loved it. So
Really?
we went Monday night to see it. Kim and I and a friend of mine and his wife, and forgetting that it was a special event, we showed up about 10 minutes late, figuring that we had some time to kill because of trailers.
Yeah.
There was no trailers, so we missed like the first 10 minutes of it.
Oh, geez.
Yeah. And so we missed probably a good part of it because Otis was not in jail, and Sid Haig apparently, well, he's not in the rest of the movie. So,
oh, jeez.
yeah. So it was awesome though. There was a lot of good laugh lines, really good brutality. It was a really good movie. I liked it a lot.
Yeah. Well, it got some pretty good reviews, and I was watching some of the people at the premiere in L.A. What was it? 2 nights ago. They did a premiere in L.A., and everyone was saying how great it was. And even they interviewed Glenn Danzig, and he was there and said he loved it. And Danzig has another horror movie come out, a spaghetti western vampire movie.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I don't know if you know about Verotic. So Glenn Danzig released a movie called Verotic, which is a anthology based on stories from the Verotic comic books.
I think I remember I was talking about this maybe like
I think it might have been 2
ago.
episodes ago. So he released it as a premiere in Los Angeles, and people laughed at scenes that he didn't intend them to laugh at, and he was upset at first. Yeah, he was upset at first, but then after the second premiere, the same laughs happened. He kind of just rolling with it, and now it has premiered across the country in multiple different locations. And he says it's not going to go to VOD until late next year.
Oh wow!
He's going to keep doing these miniature like little events with Q&A sessions. But this place, I forget the name of the theater in L.A., they've picked it up for every Saturday night at midnight for the next 6 months.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
So they're going to try and set that up as the next kind of Rocky Horror,
Nice.
B comedy horror movie.
Well, yeah, if it has comedy elements, that
Yeah.
weren't intended, but they still are funny, then yeah, it'd be perfect.
Yeah, so it may be
For a
set up perfect
midnight
like
movie.
that. So he's embraced it, more or less.
Nice.
And he says pre-production begins next week on the spaghetti western vampire movie, which he says is he's going to aim for making that one to be a bit of a comedic
Nice.
B-movie.
I would see that.
Yeah, you got to embrace. If it turns out lame, you got to embrace it.
Right.
Because if
If people appreciate it for how
Right.
funny it is, then
Right.
hey, yeah, that's what I meant to
I mean,
do.
you got to think of that movie, The Room. Remember The Room with that guy,
Yeah.
Tommy Wiseau or whatever his name is. He spent all that money trying to make a serious movie, and it became like a cult comedy classic.
Yeah.
Pretty amazing. Yeah. So that's cool.
So he was at the premiere of 3 from Hell.
Yeah. There was a lot of people actually at the premiere. I was looking at the feed last night on the Press Telegram newspaper here in Long Beach.
Yeah, I saw he was on Twitter today. He thanked everyone who showed up and said that they exceeded their expectations for how well it would do.
Yeah, and I think now the funny thing is like all these movie companies would not pick up the distribution of the movie because his last couple movies were flops. People now are saying, "Hey, this is really good," and investors should start looking again at funding some of his new projects ideas.
Well, I think the problem too is it's not your modern day horror. I was telling Craig this last night. It's a 70s horror movie, which I think that's what he was going for.
Right.
And there's some brutality in it that I think is just you don't see in horror movies anymore. Like it's gritty, it's dirty. Like there's a scene where baby's chasing this naked lady across the front lawn of the house, and there's some old lady across the yard like sucking on her oxygen tank, and she just brutalizes this naked lady right there in the grass, like stabbing the crap out of her, and laughing, and like
Nice.
it's intense.
Nice.
And I think a lot of people will shy away from that kind of stuff anymore.
Yeah.
Sadly.
Yeah, and I think that's the thing about, when you look at House of a Thousand Corpses and you look at The Devil's Rejects, it was Rob Zombie embracing that 70s dirty, gritty kind of horror movie.
Yeah.
And it was great for that, and I think that's what made them great.
That's exactly
Yeah, it has
it.
the Texas Chainsaw Massacre elements. Most of his movies do, I think.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, yeah.
Just that weird, wacky family and like you said, the dirty.
So I did see it's coming out, I think, on Blu-ray in October, so it's not going to be that long till you can, own it.
Awesome.
Really?
Yeah.
October? This October?
Yeah, in October, and it's supposed to have like 4 hours of like director's stuff and behind the scenes.
Yeah, I just saw that.
things
There's going to be a documentary in the making of all 3 movies all wrapped in.
Yeah, you'll get that. You'll get that if you buy the Blu-ray.
Yeah, that's pretty awesome.
Yeah. So I think I'm going to buy this because I'd like to see the behind the scenes stuff. It just. I mean, the movie. It's for a horror movie. It was fun.
Yeah.
It was kind of like a family comedy horror.
Yeah.
In a weird way.
That's great. That's awesome.
Yeah.
American Horror Story, 1984.
Yeah. First episode last night.
Yep, kicked off last night, and Jessica Lange says it's unlikely that she'll be appearing in any future seasons. She's done.
That's a bummer.
Yeah.
Boo. Yeah, I liked her.
Yeah.
It was good though. I liked it.
But Kathy Bates, was she in it?
No.
No.
Last night there was only a couple of the older cast, and they weren't even like older. They were like some Emma Roberts and I forget who the other 2 were that I recognized from other ones, but I think I saw that Evan Peters is supposed to be in the season, but he wasn't in last night.
Yes.
It was good though. I liked it.
Yeah. Yeah. So let's see how the season goes. From one episode in, we'll see where it goes from here. I, for one, am embracing the idea of a cheesy 1984 American Horror Story.
Oh, and it was that too. I was telling Craig because he hasn't watched it yet. The opening, like the theme music. You know how they always have that creepy, like weird, like.
Yeah.
This was like totally 80s. It was like neon lights and bright.
And my understanding is from the writers and directors that this is exactly what they're aiming for. Was this?
David Hasselhoff.
Yeah, a classic 80s cheesy.
It so was. It so was.
Yep.
Yeah, so we'll see how it goes.
And the music was good too.
Yeah.
Was it like a original score? Or,
No,
really?
it was like they had like Def Leppard and I
Yeah.
forget
Nice.
what was the one song like I can't remember the name of the group. Like it was kind of like a new age kind of thing.
Okay,
I can't remember the name of the group that did it.
gotcha.
All right, and we're looking at Midsummer, which was the episode I'm actually editing now to post. The Blu-ray release comes out in October, and
Nice.
it is the
Cool.
director's cut. It's 3.5 hour long movie.
Ooh, wow.
And the reviewer said after witnessing this comprehensive vision of the director's actual ideas, nearly in over 3 hours, all the reviewers have said they're happy to say they prefer the director cut in spades.
Really?
Yeah. They say it's more complete. The story's more complete. Less gaps.
Wow. Okay.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. So
yeah.
It's good to hear that. First of all, it wasn't a horrible movie as we reviewed
No, I
it.
liked it.
Yeah. But to hear that it's even better and more comprehensive and better, you can understand it so much better with that
Right.
little extra stuff that didn't have to hit the cutting room floor to make, a theater presentation.
Yeah.
That sounds interesting. I'm interested in seeing this.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, so that's great. And that comes out, that's supposed to come out at the end of October. So
Might have to buy some acid or something too before.
that's awesome. Dish Network is presenting 13 Stephen King movies for the
cool.
month of October.
Oh yeah. Well, that's a promotion, isn't
Yep.
it? Like
They'll give you
giving a fan
$1,300.
$1,300 to watch 13, binge watch 13, which isn't it's not a huge goal, but
Oh, I could
they give you some
binge
some
watch
merchandise and
13,
things too.
13
That's
movies.
pretty cool.
Before Halloween, it is.
Yeah.
too, right?
Yep.
Yep.
So that's pretty awesome. Let's see what else we got going on here. We have
Oh, I saw another Blumhouse remake is coming out. They're working on The Craft.
oh, really? They're remaking
Yeah, I
The
just
Craft.
saw that today. I think they've got most of the cast.
Mhm.
I think I recognize one of the girls from. There was that show that was on Netflix, The Society. I
Yes.
think the one girl I
Yeah.
recognized from that. But I thought that was a pretty good movie.
That's awesome.
And they've been doing some pretty good remakes.
That's awesome.
Yeah, Blumhouse is doing Black Christmas.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's correct. They actually, that's awesome. I mean, when it comes to horror movies lately, it seems like they're the people to go to. Them and
Yeah,
that,
them and A12.
Yeah. I was just going to say that.
Is it A12?
A24.
A24.
Yeah, A24.
I cut it in half.
But those guys, between the two of those studios, they are cranking out and funding and distributing some of the best horror stuff out there right now.
It's good someone's doing it.
Did you?
In fact, for The Craft, I think, they've actually announced the 4 leads for the roles.
Oh, did they get all 4?
Yeah. Let me see. Do any of them look familiar, I guess?
Like I said, the one girl I think I recognized from The Society on Netflix. But
Yeah. No, I don't like these names. Don't ring a bell. Zoe Luna, Lovie Simone, Gideon Adelon, and Kaylee Spaney. They don't. They're not. They're cute. Let me tell you,
It's
they're
'cause
cute.
we're old.
Yeah, we're old.
We're old
not
and they're
hip, we
teenage
don't-
girls.
Exactly. Yeah, but I mean that's great. Yeah, that's good. Let's see. Right. We talked Creep Show already. We talked that. Let me see. The remake of Rabid.
No, I didn't. I don't know if I saw
I
that was gonna be
posted
remade.
that up on our Facebook. David,
Oh, did you? You know what? Okay, I
David
do remember seeing it.
Cronenberg is doing it, so it's going to be interesting. The original release, I think, was like 1977.
Oh wow!
Like I remember watching Rabid on VHS. I think it was 1977 or 78. It came out. Fantastic movie for its time, but this
Right.
trailer looks even better. Like the trailer just made me go, that is awesome. And actually, when I posted it up on our Facebook page. I was like, oh shit, they're remaking Rabbit, and I posted the trailer. The Cronenberg trailer, just freaking amazing. Of course, special.
So did Cronenberg did the original one as well?
Yes.
Or?
Yeah. So that's freaking awesome. I also posted a bunch of crap up on Facebook over the weekend. I was feeling nostalgic, and I typically don't watch the Amazon Prime Video, but in the course
I don't either.
in the
I
course
lean more
of
towards
3
Netflix.
days, I watched 3 classic horror movies. I watched Ghoulies from 1985.
Ah, Ghoulies.
Yeah.
They do have a good selection of horror
Yes,
movies.
they do,
I have
and
to
great
admit.
classic
was
ones.
great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ghoulies from 1985. I watched The Gate, which looked excellent. It was in HD, which is awesome.
Oh, nice.
Oh, cool.
So that is awesome, right? You can't. What was the kid's name that was in that? Shit, I forget who was in Ghoulies. It's
Yeah, I don't remember. I just remember like the little like
or I mean
gremlin
the Gate.
looking weird,
The Gate.
weird things.
What the hell is that freaking guy's name? Now I gotta Google it. Damn it, Stephen Dorff. Stephen Dorff.
Oh, Stephen Dorf was in
Yeah,
that?
as a little kid, he was like
Holy
7
crap.
years old.
Wow.
I didn't realize that was him.
Yeah, he was the main character, Stephen Dorff. Man, that was awesome.
It's been a long time since I've seen that one.
Yeah. And then what was the third one I watched? I didn't post anything on the trailer about that. It was because I think I posted something last year about it. It was that 1980 where that.
I think they had Return of the Living Dead on there too.
Yeah, they do. They have a lot of stuff on there. There was that Love Potion one was another one I was thinking about watching. That's a new one that looks like a 1970s thing. It's like Love Witch or something like that.
Oh yeah.
I think we watched a trailer together at some movie or something like that. The Love Witch.
Yes.
It came out in 2016, but I looked at the trailer for that and I'm like, I might watch that too because it has even the video quality is like of a 70s B movie horror.
I think that trailer was when we went to go see A Quiet Place.
Yes, that's right.
I think they
That's right.
showed the trailer for that.
That's right.
Really?
The Love
I
Witch.
don't
Yep.
remember that.
But that one looks pretty good too. But I was kind of looking for a particular movie, and I don't know if you guys remember it. 1979, was it 79? I think it was 79. It was called Nightwing. Do you remember that?
No, I don't.
No, it doesn't ring a bell.
It was about bats.
Like vampire bats, or
Yes, vampire bats. And it was in
No, it
it
doesn't
was
ring
like
a
in the
bell.
Arizona desert, and they were like draining cattle and shit down to like empty.
Oh yeah.
And who
I
was the
remember
main
that.
character? That English actor. Fuck. David Warner. David Warner. He was like in. Shit, what movies was he in? War of the Roses. The Tempest. Julius Caesar.
I know who you're talking about. Yeah.
He was in Twin Peaks. Lois and Clark for a while. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2, The Secret of the Ooze. He was in Star Trek Next Generation. Time Bandits. He played the bad guy in Time Bandits.
oh, okay, all right, yeah. I
Um,
was like, I don't know who you're talking about.
Yeah, in Time Bandits,
I
he
know
was
you're
like
talking
the dude in the costume with the long nails and the weird. He was the lead bad guy.
about. Mhm.
But he was in Nightwing, which I don't know. It's not available anywhere. I looked everywhere. I looked at every streaming service everywhere.
Huh.
There was a limited edition Blu-ray double feature that came out years ago. Apparently, it wasn't a very popular movie, but as a child, it scared the living piss out of me. And for some reason, out of nowhere, I was like, "Man, I want to watch that movie about bats. What the hell's it called?" And I started Googling, and I found a movie from like '99 or 2000 called Bats, which was garbage. And I'm like, that's not the one. There was this one. It was like there was this like Indian guy who was like a shaman, and there was an English guy who's like vampire bats.
I totally remember that now that you're describing.
Yeah, and they're like
No,
they're out
I
in the
don't.
woods, and that chick, who's that chick that she was really cute back in the day? Catherine Harold. Yeah, that was her name. She was in like The Hunter, Modern Romance, Larry Sanders Show. She was in for a while, but she was in it. It was good. I thought it was a great movie. Scared the crap out of me. I'm sure the special effects, if you look at them now, are garbage.
Yeah.
But yeah, I know that I looked it up, and it's like it was directed by this guy named Arthur Hiller, who never did a horror movie in his entire life.
Really?
Yeah. So, but they apparently shot the film in Albuquerque, New Mexico, and Santa Fe, New Mexico, and it's like in the desert, and these vampire bats, kind of infested this cave, and they come out at night and like kill everybody. And they built this like giant fence made that was electrified. So if the bats tried to get them, they would like electrocute the bats. It was pretty exciting as a kid, but you can't find it anywhere. So now I'm gonna have to try and see if I can download it illegally somewhere because it's not available, which is a shame because it's one of those classic horror movies that I really thought would have been on Amazon. It wasn't there, and it wasn't on Netflix. And you can't even get it on freaking iTunes to buy it.
Well, that's like that one you guys always talk about that I haven't seen yet, that Peter Jackson did.
Dead Alive.
Yeah, Dead Alive. I can't find that one anywhere either. Like
Yeah.
I wanted to watch it because you guys talking about it a lot, and it's another one I can't find.
Wow. They also announced Terrifier 2 is going to have a co-star.
What?
Yes, a female clown.
I don't know about that.
Yep. They brought in some chick, and she's really cute. Lauren Lavera. She is going to be Art the Clown's co-star.
I don't know if Art doesn't look like he needs a sidekick.
No.
I mean, he doesn't talk. He doesn't do anything.
Yeah, but now he's going to have a girlfriend that doesn't talk. They have the perfect relationship. They don't have to say anything to each other at all.
I don't know if I like that.
I'm going to hold off on judgment, but I got to say right
Yeah.
now I'm a little disappointed to hear that.
Yeah, it's a bit bumming, but they did post. They redid Art's face prosthetics. So if you look at their Facebook page, they got some great photos of his new prosthetics.
Oh, sweet. I'll check it out.
And they also have.
I don't think you had to mess around with this costume though either. I think it was.
No, I think the costume
perfect.
looks great. They wanted to accentuate some of the cheekbones and shit.
Yeah.
So they're kind of changing it up a little bit. So they posted like a new version of his face mask, and a picture of his new sidekick without her makeup on, of course.
And she's pretty cute, huh?
Yeah, very much so. But yeah, so that's pretty awesome. Terrifier 2 is crowdsourced, and they raised over $100,000 in under 24 hours. So this is an Indiegogo project, and they're kicking it off, and they start filming shortly.
I was going to say, is that campaign still going on, or is it done?
No, it's done now. It
would
looks
think- I
like
would have pitched in
they've...
for that.
Let me see if you can still contribute to it. Let me see.
Yeah.
No, it's already done. But they raised
rats.
$215,000.
Nice.
It's funny because they set a goal at 50,000, and
that's awesome.
they've achieved 430% of their targeted goal. So that means people really liked the first movie.
What's not to like? I mean, I thought it was great.
Yeah, I thought it was great too, and I'm excited to see what they do with it next. A sidekick, I don't know. I'll reserve judgment. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, that's what I said. Currently, I don't think I like it, but it could work
I'll
out.
tell you though, the girl is cute. She is cute. Cute. Yeah. Let's see. It says here, there in the trailer there are 3 clowns, but there's a girl. All right, they have a picture of it. Okay, so yeah, she looks pretty terrifying actually.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so that I'm excited. We'll see how it turns out. I'll reserve judgment. I'm excited. I got a feeling that they'll do an okay job with it.
I hope so.
Anything else we need to talk about? Let's see, Zombieland 2, Double Tap. To me, when I'm looking at that trailer, I'm like, 10 years have gone by, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, that might be one I wait for it to come out on digital.
What is the point right now?
Yeah, I don't think I'm going to rush out.
Yeah, they should have done it right away. I don't know why they waited 10 years. They couldn't get the funding. I mean, the thing made a bunch of money. It's got a cult following, too. Yeah, that doesn't make sense to me. I don't know. Sam Raimi's back into the horror game too. He's got he's producing a feature adaptation of a short story film that came out a couple of years ago called Bedtime Story.
Oh, interesting.
That looks pretty good. You know, Sam Raimi, he's still got the horror chops.
They were teasing something too about James Wan getting back in the horror movies too.
That is awesome. James Wan makes fucking great horror movies.
Yep.
M. Night Shyamalama Ding Dong.
Yep.
He's got
He has
two,
I think,
yep,
right?
two slated.
Two.
Universal
slated.
signed a contract with him for 2 movies, so that's.
Yep.
He's again one of those guys that's hit or miss. You know, one of
Hit
my
or miss.
favorites of his of late was that.
Split.
No, the Split wasn't even that great. I mean, it was good, but the
Visit.
The Visit.
Oh yeah.
The
Still
fucking
haven't seen
Visit.
it.
That one.
That was and we were talking about that. That was the
Yeah,
grandmother.
I still have vivid fucking
in
dreams.
It Chapter 2.
Yeah,
In It
that's
Chapter
right.
2.
That's right.
She was what was her name? Mrs.
Yeah, I don't remember.
Merck or something like
Mrs.
that.
Merck.
Something like
Yeah.
that. But yeah, she was the grandmother from The Visit.
Yeah.
And
Yep.
it was almost like the same, similar characters.
Yeah, because she was
just, like,
buck
kinda-
naked in both movies.
Yep, like running around like crazy, and
Yeah.
yeah.
Buck naked old lady in 2 movies.
Yep.
Nothing makes a horror movie better than a naked old lady.
That's
running
right.
around.
That's right. That's right. And we'll touch on one more story that I just read about and I wasn't aware of, but this one's kind of nice. Toni Collette, right? You know her from
Yeah, from Hereditary.
She is going to join the cast of Guillermo del Toro's new Nightmare Alley movie. So I guess
Okay,
she had a
nice.
taste of horror movies and she's ready for some more.
Cool.
That's
Yeah, she
awesome.
does a nice job.
Yeah, I thought she was good in that movie.
Yeah. All right. Our top 5 this week is what?
Top 5 favorite
Practical
practical effects scenes.
All right.
effects or movies.
Movies. I picked scenes, but
Okay, well,
Okay.
yeah,
I mean-
either way.
yeah.
So we have this week it is Chris Craig Sal.
All right.
Okay, so my again, I picked scenes, but most of the ones that I picked scenes for, I mean, there was a lot of good special effects. I mean, practical effects in the movies anyway. So my number 5 was Alien, the chest buster scene.
Oh, yeah.
you know where the
Yeah.
little baby alien pops up out of his chest, and I mean that was creepy. And you had said, I think, in the one episode that none of the other cast knew what was
Right.
going to happen there,
That's
right?
correct. Yes.
So the horror on their faces when they got
Was
drenched
real.
in like that fake blood was real.
Yes.
Okay, my number 4, and this I think this somehow works its way into my top 5 list one way or another all the time. The Nightmare on Elm Street, the bloody bed,
Yes.
where Johnny Depp gets sucked down in there
Mhm.
and then splattered all over the place. I mean, that was a lot of blood.
Yeah.
Number 3, Evil Dead 2. When the wife of the doctor in the basement, Evil Henrietta,
Yeah.
she turns into that just big fat like nasty demon thing, and then like her head like pops
out of
off
the-
and
Dude.
becomes like this big snake head,
Dude.
and then he just starts like dismembering her with a chainsaw, and pieces of her are flying all over the
Yeah.
place. I mean, that movie by itself, I mean, is just a treasure trove of
It's all practical.
awesome practical effects.
Yeah.
Number 2 is the thing, the chest cavity scene where they're trying to resuscitate that guy with the
Oh
paddles.
my God, that one
And his
scared the
chest
crap out of me. That is a
Oh.
classic.
That scene just extends too because it goes from the chest opening up and chopping off that dude's
To
hands
the fucking head
to-
turning into a spider.
Yeah. So I mean that whole scene right there was just like
Oh yeah.
crazy. So that's my number 2, and my number 1 is from Hellraiser. When Frank returns in the attic.
Oh, the final resurrection in '87. Yeah,
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 when
yeah.
he comes back.
And when he comes, he's just like his whole like corpse, like from his brain to his like intestines, all just start like reforming
Just goop.
right there on the floor. And his ex-lover, who is like his brother's wife,
Yeah.
stands there and watches him as he's like reforming on the
Yeah.
on the floor, and all the rats are like scared and shit and run all over
Yep,
the place.
yeah.
So that's my number 1. I had two
Honorable mentions.
honorable mentions. The one is Poltergeist. It's the scene where the guy peels his face off, like he's eating a chicken leg,
Yes.
and he sees like the maggots and stuff on it, and then he sees the steak like on the thing, and he runs to the bathroom.
Dude,
and
I
starts,
can't
like,
tell you how
peeling
much
his
that
face.
terrified me as a kid.
dude, and he
Yeah.
just like starts peeling his face off, and it was just like that was just all
And,
yeah,
like,
it scared the
the
crap out of
bathroom
me as a
light
kid.
flickers a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then my other one was From Dusk Till Dawn. It's a scene where a sex machine is a vampire.
Yeah.
And George Clooney like flicks the whip and like yanks his head off.
Yeah.
And kicks it across the floor, and then all of a sudden his body transforms into this like giant rat creature. And that's Tom Savini, which
The
is
god
just
of
a great-
practical effects.
right. So that's my list.
Awesome. That's a great list.
Thanks.
All right. My number 5, I went with Poltergeist.
The face ripping scene.
No, I'm actually, the reason a lot of people don't know this is towards the end of the movie when they're in the pool
Mm-hmm.
and the skeletons pop up out of the mud and in the water. Those are actually human skeletons.
Oh, really? They're
They
like
used real human skeletons.
Oh, nice.
Wow.
And I think they did it for an effect, just to scare the people even more.
I'm sure it
Sweet.
did.
But yeah, those were real human skeletons in that pool. But I mean, there's a lot of, like I said, just a lot of good.
Yeah, I mean the
you
movies
know,
that
the clown. That's a practical
yeah.
effect. That's probably stop motion. But yeah, I mean, there's a lot of good ones in Poltergeist. My number 4, I went with The Fly.
Oh,
Oh,
my
yeah.
god.
yeah, that's a good
Dude.
one.
Jeff Goldblum.
Dude, you're talking like the last part at the end.
Yeah, when he
Yeah.
finally turns into the fly.
Yeah,
like
when he
that,
turns. Yep, when he turns
his
into the
face like
fly.
splits
Yeah.
apart.
Yes.
Finally turns
Oh.
into Brundlefly.
Yep.
It's actually like really gross. I mean,
Yeah,
like, it's one of
that's
those
a
ones like you felt like
Cronenberg
sick watching it
classic.
happen.
Oh yeah.
The Cronenberg
And you felt
classic.
bad for the guy. Yeah, you just felt bad. Really sad for the dude.
Yeah, David Cronenberg movies, man. That's a classic right there.
Yep. My number 3, I went with Dead Alive. That lawnmower scene, that was a practical effect. Sorry, Chris.
Yeah, I have no frame of reference.
But, yeah, pretty bloody, gory scene. Number 2, I went with Evil Dead 2.
Yeah, I mean, there's so many scenes in that movie.
Oh, yeah. I mean, the whole movie. The whole movie's just practical effects. My number 1, I went with American Werewolf in London.
Also a good one.
That's just, that was groundbreaking.
Yeah, it was the transformation.
Yep. Transformation from human to the werewolf that just like blew my mind when I was a kid.
Nice.
Just watching it, I was like, how'd they do that?
That's awesome.
Yep. And then I had 2 honorable mentions. I did go with The Thing as well. No part in particular, just a lot
Yeah,
of good.
the kennel scene with the dog too, when the alien like take the dog,
Yeah.
and its face splits apart, and then like the other dogs like later on like morph it, like it was.
Yeah.
Yep. And Pumpkinhead.
I
Yeah.
forgot about Pumpkinhead.
I thought that was just a cool creature.
Yeah,
That was-
yeah,
that was
I totally
practical.
forgot about Pumpkinhead.
Yep. So
Good list. Good list.
That's my
Well,
list.
now you're gonna hear why I'm laughing because, dude, we have so many things the same. My number
Imagine
5.
that.
My number 5. Again, Dead Alive, the lawnmower scene. Like
Okay.
when it comes to practical effects,
You have to see it, Chris.
that
like
is
to.
like it goes down in. I think any horror website or any horror review will tell you that Peter Jackson's Dead Alive or Brain Dead, as it was called in Australia,
Yep.
that when he walks through the crowd of zombies with the lawnmower upright and body parts are like flying everywhere, that scene is so iconic. Like that
Yep.
between that scene and the scene where his dead mother was banging that fucking thing.
Yeah. Yep.
But between those two scenes, that movie will never leave my head. It's going to be there
Nope.
forever. That's my number 5. That's great. My number 4 is Scanners. The dude when his head fucking explodes.
Head explode.
yeah.
Like a lot of horror movies have tried to do the head exploding thing. We
Yeah.
talked
And
about
failed.
it a couple of weeks ago when we talked about Deadly Friend with the basketball to the
Yeah.
head. They don't quite pull
Yeah.
it off. Scanners pulled it off sweetly. Like it was in a
Yep.
way that just you can't. It's often imitated, often duplicated, rarely imitated. Right?
Yeah.
Do we know how they accomplished that? Was it like
I don't know the
I did
details
see.
behind it.
I did see something on how they did it, and I don't remember, but I did see somewhere. I think it was one of those Halloween specials.
Yeah, that's
they
that's
show
my
how
number
they
4.
make-
My number 3 is The Thing, and again, this isn't the hands going into the body is great, but when his head comes off, grows legs
yeah.
and crawls across
And
the
it's like
fucking room.
connected. Looks like a worm or whatever.
That part is just insane.
That whole scene right there was
Yeah.
creepy as
Yeah.
shit.
My number 2 is, again, The Fly. When he did the final transformation to Brundlefly. Again, the
Yeah.
Cronenberg movies. I mean, Rick and Morty made fun of it for a reason because that stuff is
Yeah,
just
they did.
insane. But the Fly, that final transformation is
It's
insane.
disturbing.
And my number 1, American Werewolf. The initial transformation into the werewolf, while Bad Moon Rising is playing in the background, and
Yep.
they do the close-ups of his hand, and just that whole scene there was like nobody did anything like that up until that point.
Yeah, and even the acting, like you could see, like the pain,
Right.
like on his
It
face.
is that is like the iconic Rick Baker special effects. Like
Yeah.
when he did that, I'm sure everybody was like, "How the hell did you do it?" And even I think we talked about this again before when we talked about top werewolf movies. American Werewolf in London was my number 1, but number 2 behind that was The Howling because the same special effects crew that was working under Rick Baker worked on The Howling, and they left. They left the team from American Werewolf in London halfway through the production in order to do their parts in The Howling. The Howling,
Oh, wow.
their special effects were great. You know, the guy's jaw moving and the bubbling of the skin, but it didn't cover like the shit that American Werewolf did. They show his back changing, his like spine. You see how like his spine is shifting around. Like the special effects in that was just fucking stellar, unbelievable.
Yep.
And my honorable mentions, I've got only 2 of them. One of them is The Blob, 1988, the remake.
Yeah.
There's a scene where the
Oh,
girl
and they see
is
it
in.
dissolve the people.
Yeah, well, there's a scene where the girl is like in a. The one girl is inside a call booth, you know, a phone booth, and she's trying to call somebody and call her boyfriend and get help. And you see this dude that was standing outside the phone booth trying to get in, and like his body gets mashed up against the window, and you see like his skin peeling off of his face as he's tapping on the window.
Yeah.
That was just insane.
Good shit.
Yeah, I think that's just crazy. And then my other one is Alien, of course, the original Alien, the chest burster, for the same reason that we
Mhm.
talked about, which is, you know,
They had no idea.
yeah, John Hurt, you know, great actor John Hurt, being the first time. And think of it this way: like when they filmed that scene, number 1, it wasn't like a typical horror movie where the girl is like the first victim. Instead,
Mhm.
you have John Hurt, a man nonetheless. They're standing there just kind of talking. When they filmed that scene, they didn't tell anybody how the first, you know, alien was going to appear. So they're at that diner scene. They're talking, you know, in the dinner room of the spaceship,
Mhm.
and then he's like chest pain and falls back, and bam, blood like shoots everywhere, and this thing busts out of his chest. I just love every time I watch the movie. I think about the fact that what was that girl, the actor? Veronica Cartwright, the blonde, the girl that was in the
Mhm.
movie. The expression on her face when that thing busts through John Hurt's chest is just you can't duplicate it.
True horror.
True horror, yes. True shock and awe for the entire cast of that movie, I'm sure. Okay, fantastic top 5 list.
Nice, good
Yeah.
list.
Yeah.
Um,
Hey, something popped into my. We were talking about the classic horror movies on Prime Video, and I think they do have The Company of Wolves on there as well.
Really?
I think I saw that. Yeah. If you want to go back and watch that one again, that was one of my favorite werewolf movies.
That's awesome. All right, so let's talk it chapter 2.
I've seen it twice.
So have I. So let's stop right here, and we're going to do spoilers to everybody. I hope that everyone that listens to this podcast has already seen this movie. If not, you're just not the right horror fan for this podcast.
It's about 2 weeks now.
Yeah,
Yeah,
It's
you
been in
need to
the
go out and see it right now.
Yeah, it is
If you haven't
a
seen it.
fantastic follow-up for the first one. Let me tell you, the first one set the bar so damn high.
Right.
I'm going to go far and say this didn't quite capture what part 1 captured, but it got damn
came
near
damn close.
man.
It did. I feel the same way. Like I said to Craig before we saw it, like I said, if you give the first one an A, I would give this a B plus. I mean,
Yeah.
and it's probably like a B plus right on the cusp of an A.
Yeah.
I mean, it was really good.
Yeah, this movie, I can't say enough how great it was, how surprised and delighted I was at how good this was.
Yeah, and they did such a great job of making the adults look like
that's the thing.
The casting was just amazing.
That's the thing, and the fact that they did a transition, like if they started the movie with them as kids, right?
Yeah,
they picked up where they left off when they left, and they did their little blood pact with each other, right? They did a great transition, and they showed some scenes that happened after the movie ended. Some scenes of them together or whatever. And it did such a great transition that your emotional attachments to those characters that were developed in the first 2 hours of the first movie carry over to these new characters. You believe,
Definitely, yeah.
You believe that what you're seeing is those same characters older
as adults.
Yeah,
and I was telling Chris too when we were leaving the theater, they did a nice job with the kids. Like I think they really went right back and did some filming before the kids got too old. Because they looked about the same age as they were from the first film.
Right.
Yeah, they must have shot those scenes like the same time as they shot the first one or something. Because, if you watch
the kid from Stranger Things,
yeah. Like he looks much older now, and he looked Richie. Like he looked, they looked the same age.
Yeah,
yeah,
from film to film. Sal, do you know dollar wise what Chapter 2 did compared to Chapter 1?
You know what? I don't. But let me look at Box Office Mojo and figure it out.
Curious to see if it did more or.
Yeah, I loved Bill Hader as Richie. I thought he was awesome.
Yeah, it was fantastic.
And the dude that they got to play Eddie, holy crap, was like it seemed like it really was like Eddie.
Yeah, well,
just
my favorite
older.
thing is they did an interview with him, and he goes, "You know what? I didn't read the books. Instead, I studied my character. I studied the kid. I watched the first movie a bunch of times, and I just picked up on his mannerisms."
And he did great.
Yeah, and that was perfect. That was a perfect thing to do because it did fantastic.
Yeah, yeah. And Jessica Chastain was great as Bev.
So, opening weekend, they did $91 million. They were ranked number 1 for 2 weekends in a row. They grossed $338 million worldwide. Chapter.
Oh, it's still playing though too.
It is still playing.
In all fairness, we
still
can't really
could be
compare
number
them, I guess,
1
right?
this week, but their worldwide take for the last one was 700,000. So they're
halfway,
they're a little more than
about
halfway there.
Yeah.
And I think the other one, it stayed out in the theaters for quite some time, right? Like
Yes, it did.
It was there for like two months, which you don't see for movies much anymore.
It was in theaters for 14 weeks, so that's a pretty long time.
Yeah, and this may be because it's closer to Halloween too. They might keep riding.
Yeah.
I mean, if people.
think about it.
going
That
to see
first
it, I
movie was
guess.
in for 14 weeks. This one's only been in for 13 days, 1.9 weeks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's pretty damn good. So yeah, I think they're going to pull off matching, perhaps even beating that. The director did say in an interview that he has additional scenes that he filmed and had to cut. He also had scenes that he wanted to film but didn't have time to. And what he wants to do is for the Blu-ray release to do a master edition, which will be the 2 movies back-to-back uncut without all the cuts from both the first movie and the second movie, putting in all the scenes that he filmed and had to cut.
Oh, that'd be cool.
Yeah, that would be pretty awesome.
Make for a long day.
It sure would. I don't know if you could watch it in one sitting, right? Because the first movie 2 hours and 49 minutes was the second movie. The first movie's 2 hours, so you're talking almost 5 hours of freaking video, right?
Yeah, yeah.
That would be quite the chunk of a day. But let me say, we'll start off by saying, the introduction to the kids all over again was great, right? Showing you them where they left off, and then showing you the adults in their lives, where they're at. Getting the phone call from Mike, right? That was awesome. And I love how they carried out exactly what was in the book, right?
Yeah.
Which was the death of, what's his name? The Stanley, right? Because in the book, he commits suicide by slitting his wrists in the tub.
Yep.
Which also he does write letters about taking himself out of the game, was the speech of the book, which they pretty much did in this movie, which is fantastic. There were a ton of great little winks to the fans of the books. Things that, it's funny because one of the things that they didn't do in the first movie, and I was so sad that they didn't, was the Paul Bunyan giant chasing.
Oh yeah.
What's his
I
name?
enjoyed that one.
Yeah,
That was cool.
They did it in this one. That was fantastic. Loved it.
Scared the crap out of me when he first when he opened his eyes up and he was like right there in his face.
Yeah, this isn't real. This isn't real.
I jumped.
He opens his eyes and bam, Paul Bunyan's in his face. So that is awesome. And like you said, Bill Hader, amazing.
He was great.
Amazing.
Probably my favorite part. I mean, it was a great movie, but I think Bill Hader is probably my favorite part of the movie.
Yep.
And the comedy, the comedy sort of helped too, right?
Yes.
The jokes.
Yes, it was pretty awesome. Mrs. Kirsch, the scene was so much more than what was in the trailer, which I loved.
Yeah.
Because I was so afraid that the trailer was kind of giving away that whole scene. But then when they showed when she came out of the kitchen, holy
crap.
fuck. My daughter closed her eyes. She was like, it's too much. I'm like, wow. I'm so glad that was more than what was in the trailer. That was fantastic. And it's funny because in the book, which they didn't kind of show this, but when she's sipping the tea, like in the movie, she's like sipping the tea, talking to Mrs. Kirsch, and no one in Derry really ever dies.
Yeah.
And as she's sipping the tea, she makes a bit of a face like the tea doesn't taste good. But in the book, I don't know. Have you guys read the book? I don't know if we talked about this. In the book, the teacup was full of excrement. Like it had like old lady shit in it, and it was really gross.
Nasty.
But they kind of hinted at that, I think, in the movie, which I thought was a nice wink to like readers. Like, yeah, there's a cup full of excrement. She just took a sip of it.
She's drinking poop.
Yeah. But that's great. So, and you could tell by her face, like something isn't right. But they didn't kind of show you a turd floating in the fucking
That it was poop.
Yeah.
Mr. Hanky was taking a bath.
Yeah, exactly. But that was pretty awesome. The scenes, I think, where each of them have to face.
Where they're trying to find their like talisman or whatever.
Yeah, their little totem that they have from that time in their life was really the part where Beverly is like the bathroom and the blood is coming in, and then each of the people that have harassed her and abused her in her life are like banging on the door. And then there's that scene where the kid, what was the kid's name that they pushed down the well and he came back all crazy? But Henry, they show Henry coming into the bathroom door and he's like, "Here's Johnny." That was freaking an awesome callback to Stephen King's The Shining.
And the cameo.
Yep. The cameo of Stephen King, which, by the way, everyone keeps talking about the fact that he was making fun of himself because notoriously,
with the book endings.
he's not great at book endings. That was just great.
There was a great theme throughout, and then when he said it himself, I was like, "Oh, that was great."
Yeah, he's just like getting it beat into his head a couple times there.
I hated the ending.
And then what was the thing that he said to him when he bought the bike? About outrunning the devil.
Oh yeah.
Oh shit. I forget what the line is.
Yeah, something because it's sat in the window for like 20 years.
Yeah, and then he said something to him like, "Yeah, it's a little aged. It's not going to go that fast." But that was great. Eddie going back to the pharmacy.
Oh, that was creepy.
When he goes down into the basement and finds his mom tied up,
with that like
Oh
crackhead
my
like
God.
junkie
Oh
or whatever
my
the hell
God.
like, that
and
guy
his
was.
fucking tongue. Ugh. Ugh. That's so gross. Yeah. Also, the
like-
callback of the scary, not scary, really scary.
Oh yeah, and the Pomeranian was in the one.
It's not scary at all.
Oh yeah, that was a great scene.
That's great.
That was a great scene.
The other thing
How-
was a little confusing for me is the beep beep. Now, remember in the book, Eddie's the comedian, and he always is kind of like winding up all his jokes with a beep beep like a clown, because in the book Eddie's afraid of clowns, and that's kind of what I hinted to at the end of the first movie. He's like, "What are you afraid of, Eddie?" He's like, "Fucking clowns."
Right.
But they never did.
Yeah, because he went into that room and it had all those different clowns
Right,
in it.
and they never did the
Yeah.
beep beep, except if you remember in the first one when Pennywise jumped out of the casket.
Yeah, he did say beep
He goes
beep, I
beep
think.
beep, Eddie, but it didn't. There was no context. Like if you read the book,
Right.
you're like, all right, I know what that means. But if you didn't, like, he doesn't say beep beep at all in the whole first movie, and then in the second one, he doesn't say it again. But what's her?
Bev
yeah,
says it,
Bev
right?
says to him, "Beep beep, Richie." And I'm like, what? It doesn't. He threw it in there, I guess, as a hook to readers, but it doesn't make sense to anybody else. I'm sure if you didn't read the book, you're gonna go, what? Beep beep, Richie? What does she fucking mean?
Yeah, I just knew it as a callback from the previous movie. Other than that,
Yeah.
I thought it was odd that she said it to him. I was like, well, that's
Yeah, exactly. If you didn't read the book, it doesn't make any sense. But I don't know if that was a nod to readers or I don't know. Maybe it made more sense with maybe something that got cut out. You know, I don't know. And
How close was the two kids that were eaten? How close were they to the book? Like the Victoria under the bleachers and the kid in the House of Mirrors.
the Under the Bleachers was in the book. The House of Mirrors kid was not in the book.
That was a great scene.
I like
That
that
was
scene though,
good.
where he
That
was
was
bashing
really
his
good.
face against the
Yeah.
glass, trying to break it. And
That
he
was
like,
that was actually pretty amazing. What also
like just crazy, and then all of a sudden his face just busts through it.
Yeah.
And,
What also was also directly out of the book was when he goes back home, when Bill goes back to the street where he was, and he was at the sewer there, and the kid that comes by on a skateboard, and he confronts the kid and tells the kid about being safe and whatever, and the kid goes, you can't be safe with a skateboard. You know that
Yeah.
line that came like right out of the book.
Okay.
I thought it was funny that both Richie and Bill harassed that kid.
Yeah.
They both grabbed him and like yelled at him and shook him. I was like, Jesus.
I thought the kid was going to cry at that first one at the beginning when
Yeah, right?
when Eddie was going on him. I'm like, oh shit, and he goes, "Geez, buddy, it's from your line."
It's one of your lines.
That was great. That was good. Or even the fact everyone kept saying, "Well, how come they didn't get in trouble for smashing shit?" It's a movie. You got to suspend some level
Yeah,
of belief.
that
right?
waitress, she's like, is everything okay?
Yeah, and he's got a chair in his hand, and he just got done smashing the entire table with the chair.
That was pretty creepy too. Like all the fortune cookies, like the eyeball and like the fetus and like
all from the book.
baby
Yeah,
chicken
all from the book.
and the bat wing. That was kind of creepy, like all that. And then there was like the heads floating around in the aquarium.
That was.
They were singing something too. I couldn't. I tried like the second time I watched it to listen to what it was they were singing. I couldn't place it.
And the scene at the very beginning where they beat the crap out of a gay and throw him off the bridge, that was right out of the book. In fact, that was Stephen.
Oh, was it really?
That was Stephen King's inspiration for the entire story, because while he lived in the town of Bangor, Maine, that exact situation happened. Some
Oh,
drunk
jeez.
guys beat up a gay man and threw him off the bridge, and he drowned. And that he used that as the basis for starting the story of it.
Huh.
Yeah. In fact, there's when I went up to was it last summer? Yeah, it was like the last August. I went up to Maine with my daughter, and we spent a couple days in Bangor, Maine, and we did the Stephen King tour, and we went to his house and all that. The tour guide talked about the fact that was Stephen King's inspiration for the beginning of that story was the gay guy got beat up and thrown off the bridge. So that little scene there is right out of the book. In fact, it is at the beginning of the book. Yeah, that's pretty wild.
Yeah.
The great thing is, so when I moved out here to Los Angeles, right, I did the It experience, It Chapter 2 experience.
Yeah, and the pictures you took looked just like that
Yeah,
fair.
in fact,
Yeah.
that's what they had set up. So they had the fair set up. It was kind of cool because in order to do the It experience, you had to go to the It Chapter 2 experience website, during a certain day and buy tickets. And when I went online, they were all gone. Like, they were gone in minutes, right?
Wow.
And then I got an email that said, hey, if you still want to do it, all you need to do is pre-order your IMAX tickets and bring your IMAX ticket stubs to the standby line, and they'll let you in without having to without having to buy a ticket. And I was like, yeah, all right, I'm going to do that. So I bought my IMAX passes, and my daughter and I drove up to Hollywood, about 15, 20 minutes from here, up at the corner of Hollywood and Vine, and we got to the standby line. The line was wrapping around the freaking block.
Wow.
But the standby line didn't have anybody in it. And I went up, and he goes, hey, do you have a ticket? Do you have your scheduled time? And I go, I don't have a ticket, but I got IMAX tickets for the, that I pre-ordered. And he goes, go ahead right in.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah.
Wow.
So we went in, and we were the fifth person in line. It was pretty awesome.
Cool.
But before you go in, there was like a little fair set up where you could shoot the water guns to blow up balloons, and the heads of the clowns where you shoot the water in their mouth. They were all shaped Pennywise. They had
and they were probably red balloons. I'm guessing.
That's right. They also had the beanbag toss. You throw the beanbag at Pennywise's clown heads to knock them over, and they had a bottle toss where you throw the little red ring to catch a bottle. I won first place in the balloon thing, and you get a little red ticket. So at the end of the event, you got a special prize.
Oh, cool. What'd you get?
I got a Pennywise sticker and a coupon for an Impossible Whopper.
Did you have the Whopper?
Yeah, I did. It was awesome. Let me tell you, those Impossible Whoppers, they taste like a regular
Yeah.
Whopper. It was pretty
Okay.
amazing. No meat.
That's good. That's good to know. Yeah, because I keep wanting to try one.
So and then you get in line for the funhouse, and it's the same funhouse that you see in the movie. The big clown mouth, the rotating tunnels, you walk through it, and then you walk through all the clowns swinging back and forth.
Did it have the mirrors too, like the mirrors?
Yep. First you go through the clowns, just like in that. The clowns were swinging back and forth.
Oh, the ones that swing back and forth. Yeah.
Yep, just like in the movie. And then you have the mirror room, which the mirror room was crazy because just like a regular mirror room, they're everywhere. But then this one mirror isn't really a mirror, but it looks like a mirror. But it's a screen behind a mirror, and every once in a while you see Pennywise run by.
Oh,
sweet.
It's like,
man.
what the fuck? Because you're going through the
Yeah.
through like the maze, and it's like I have my hands in front of me, and my daughter's like got her ears covered because there's like scary sounds and stuff, and I'm like trying to touch the wall in front of me to see if it's glass or a mirror or what the fuck I'm walking into, and then you just see like Pennywise dart past on the side mirror, and you're like, whoa, what the fuck? But that was pretty awesome. And then once you get through that, you walk into this weird kind of like 3D room that looks like Pennywise, and it's like there's all kinds of like you can't tell what's going on in the room, but these people are wearing full body costumes that they blend right into the fucking wall, and they just jump out at you. Like the lights aren't even out, but you can't even see the people until they jump out at you.
Oh, crazy.
Wow.
And then you open this door, and you're in Mrs. Kirsch's living room, and I posted a picture of
Oh,
that.
jeez.
Like there's her couch and the pictures.
Oh, yeah,
all the
yeah.
pictures
Remember
that
that
were on
picture.
her walls were on the walls in the room.
Yeah.
And there's a kitchen, and then the kitchen, there's a very dim light in it, and you hear, "Have a seat, honey. Would you like some
Oh,
tea?"
man.
And then you're like standing there waiting for a couple minutes, and then like the lights flicker, and the old lady jumps out of the fucking kitchen door. And I'm like, what the?
No
yeah,
way.
it was crazy. Callie almost shit her pants at that scene. I'm like, holy crap! And then you leave that room, and all of a sudden you're in the sewer.
Oh,
And
sweet.
you're walking through the
With all the
sewer, and
corpses
yeah,
floating
but
around in the
there's-
water?
No, but there's like water dripping, and then you look up and you see Georgie's raincoat hanging from the ceiling, like coming in through a rain gutter.
Yeah.
And then you see these 3 balloons inflate behind you, and they one at a time turn. It says, "Witness its end," as they turn
cool.
around. And then you go around the corner, and all of a sudden you're behind the bleachers in that scene in the movie. So
Okay.
and you walk between like the this fence and another bleacher next to you, and you go around the corner, and then you stop for a couple minutes, and you see Pennywise eyes in the background, and then like the whole
like they're under.
yeah,
the
and then
yeah,
like the
just
whole bleachers start to
blowing.
shake, and the lights freaking flashing on and off. Like I don't know what kind of rig they
Cool.
had,
Oh, that sounds
but they
pretty
had
sweet.
like this hydraulic system that was making the whole bleachers shake and bang around. And then Pennywise
Yeah.
like comes running out of the back corner right past you, and everyone's like screaming, and then you open the door and you're out.
Ah,
Okay.
sounds like
It was
fun.
a lot of
How
fun.
long did it take to walk through? About 10
No, it
minutes?
was about
15?
the whole experience between, playing the little arcade game, the little games, carnival games, and then going
Yeah.
through the walkthrough was 45 minutes total.
Oh wow.
Yeah, it was good
Cool.
because each of those rooms you stop in for a couple minutes, and then stuff happens, like the old lady or the room where people
Yeah.
jump out and stuff. So it was pretty cool.
Yeah.
It was a pretty cool experience.
Sweet.
Great marketing, actually, and the posters they had everywhere was awesome. And I wanted to buy one, but didn't have any for sale. Yeah,
Oh,
I
Really? Were they all like They were prizes?
Yeah, you had to win them, and the way it worked is so
Oh.
when I got out, the way I won my prize is you get this little red ticket, and for every ticket you have, you get to spin this wheel, and whatever the wheel lands on is what you get. And I
Oh.
wanted the poster so bad because they had the big carnival poster there, but
Yeah.
only one tiny slot on the stupid wheel was to win the poster.
Oh. Yeah.
And you just got a sticker and a whopper.
Yeah, sticker and a whopper. But it was still good. Yeah, the movie was fantastic. The ending was great. A lot of people complained about the ending, right? Because they're like,
No, it
all
was-
they did is belittle him. But really, what they were doing is taking his energy away. Because remember,
Right.
he
Yeah.
feeds
'Cause it was
on
fear that powered
right?
him.
So when all those adults no longer had any fear, they were able to take that energy away from him and shrink him
Right,
down
which
to
made him
size.
small.
And just like
Because that's what he said. There's more than one way to make something
right,
small.
right. And just like in the book and also in that TV show, they rip his heart out and crush it. And that's how they kill him. I thought it was great. I thought
Me too.
the characters were great. They were very convincing to make you believe that those were the same kids.
Mhm.
Oh,
And everyone was
absolutely.
saying, well, how did they not remember each other? It's almost like they were just getting introduced to each other. But it has that
They explained that.
right. It had that overpowering shadow that kind of makes you forget about it.
Right.
And the scene where he's like, I've waited for you for 27 years.
Mm-hmm.
I have longed for you. I have missed you. I was like,
Yeah,
yeah,
that's
that was
creepy.
freaking really creepy. I mean, that little girl scene under the bleachers was so freaking creepy. Like,
Yeah, and you know, it was sort of like I like you said, it was from the book that Stephen King actually, like the girl, had the birthmark, and Pennywise didn't care, and he was like using it against
yeah,
her. You know what I
that's
mean? It was like
creepy as fuck.
he's like, people make fun of me. And he's like, oh, people make fun of me too.
I
you know,
can make
he
that
didn't
go
care.
away.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I thought that was neat. Just
No wonder
how
fucking
Stephen
clowns are
King used
creepy.
that. Yep.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah. So,
See, I recommend anybody who's a fan of horror, definitely. If you haven't seen it yet,
oh yeah.
go see it.
And you know what? It didn't feel like a long movie. I think
No.
their
No, it didn't.
execution of things was just right. I
Mhm,
think
mhm.
I think the pacing was pretty good. And the reintroduction to the past for each of those characters was freaking awesome. I loved it. I loved
Yeah.
the movie. It was really good. And I will definitely, I already have it pre-ordered for digital. When it comes out, I'll have it right away. And when that collector's edition Blu-ray double feature comes out, you
4K.
bet your ass I'll have it. Yeah.
So, what do we all give this? We
So out of 5 stars, what do you think, Craig?
I'll go 4.
Yeah, Chris?
do we got to do halves or can we do like quarters?
You can do quarters.
I say 4.25.
4.25, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
I'm going to give it a straight up 4. So I'll say we'll give it a nice average of 4. We'll say 4.
Okay. Yeah, that works.
4 out of 5 stars from the crew here at the American Nightmare podcast. That's a must-see movie, I think.
Definitely.
Yeah,
If
absolutely.
you're into horror, if you're into Stephen King, if you're into that stuff, this movie will satisfy the appetite you have for horror. Without a
Absolutely.
doubt. Awesome. So,
All right, so we'll work on a top 5 list for next time and think about what we're gonna watch. For the
yeah,
next
we'll
one too,
have
I guess,
to.
right?
I am back and forth a little bit. Whose turn is it really to pick a movie this time around? I think I'm going to say that it
Gosh.
was my choice, so we can move on to somebody else.
Okay.
It might be Craig's actually.
I'll
All
pick
right,
one.
so let's discuss it in the coming weeks.
Maybe we'll do. How about we just do that In the Tall Grass? That comes out October 4th on Netflix. That Stephen
Yeah,
King.
that works
That
for
works.
me.
Or is that too much Stephen King?
No, works for me.
No, it
Dude,
looks
Stephen
good.
King is the master of horror. Come on.
So we'll do. We'll do the in the
Yeah,
Tall
I don't know if you
Grass.
knew it or not, by the way, too. So Stephen King's adversary to the pen is Dean Koontz. Guess who
Okay.
appeared in It Chapter 2? Dean Koontz was in it.
I know what he looks like too. He has a
Yeah.
mustache. He used to have a mustache, but I read a few of
Oh,
his
yeah, he
books
was in it?
actually.
Yep.
I never found him as scary as Stephen King, but I did read a few Koontz
Yeah,
books.
he made a cameo in It Chapter 2. In
Yeah.
fact, let me see
What character was it?
if they have it. Let me see.
I'm trying to think back if I could pick him out.
I can't find it. I
See.
know that he was in there. It had something. Yes, it was the guard
Plan on
in
watching
the
it.
when Henry Bowers. It says when Henry Bowers broke out of the jail.
Mhm.
Oh, the guard that got stabbed. No.
Yeah, I don't know.
All right. Yeah. So we'll have to think of a top 5 then too. Who's top 5? Do we do that? too,
No,
or
well, let's
choice? Just
we'll figure it
talk
out.
about
We'll,
it.
we'll
Yes.
do some IMing back and forth, and we'll figure that out this week. We got some time before we can record again. But I'm going to get the episode 19 up this week, and then I have to edit this one and try not to be so goddamn late. But let me tell you, moving here was an absolute disaster. So
Yeah.
the moving trucks, they broke so much shit.
Ugh.
I had a whole bunch of bullshit I had to deal with. But
Well, I'm sure it's insured.
that's a whole nother story.
Yeah. Oh boy.
Anyway, awesome. Thanks,
All right.
guys. And
Yep.
we'll
Thanks,
be
Al.
talking IM later.
Okay.
Later.
All right.